As Christians immerse themselves in the spiritual celebrations of this Easter weekend, we are also reminded of the many young women who were victims of alleged sex predator, Pastor Timothy Omotoso, who was arrested during Easter last year. 3 of his alleged recruiters have since been arrested for recruiting young girls from families without father figures. They recently appeared in the Port Elizabeth Magistrates Court and were released on bail. More victims have come forward.
They wanted to give me 2 million so that I can approach the girls to drop the charges and support Omotoso and say those accusations are not true.
We
need to know that there are victims in the church that have been abused, manipulated, deceived by false prophets.
While Omotoso awaits trial at St. Albans Maximum Security Prison, new allegations of preferential treatment have emerged. The recent increase in crimes committed by cult-like churches in the country has led to activists taking to the streets to protest against what they claim is the rise of false prophets and the alleged abuse of women in these churches.
Okay, so Bala.
Twins Anela and Eliswa say they recently left the house they had been living in Durban, where Omotoso allegedly trafficked more than 30 young women from various provinces. As up-and-coming musicians, the twins are rehearsing the first song they have written since their newfound freedom.
1, 2, 3.
The twins have been singing since an early age and are well known nationally for being among the few artists that came from KwaZulu-Natal that made it to the top 33 in the Idols music competition. It is this music talent that apparently made them ideal prospects for Omotoso, the alleged sex predator who has churches around South Africa. Up until 2 months ago, the twins were allegedly being kept in Omotoso's house in KwaZulu-Natal by a recruiter of his, even though he is behind bars.
And then so we went to Idols. We sang and Satando, even before we even auditioned. Yabo, nje abantu babesithanda. Kuthi why we don't know, but ifavor uNkulunkulu big team.
Simple pleasures like jogging on the beach have now taken on a new meaning to Anela and Eliswa as they reflect on how they were introduced to Pastor Timothy Omotoso.
This friend invited us to JDI. Okay, fine. We went. Few weeks, ne? Yeah, a few weeks. Few weeks going to the church. We recorded a song with Zahara. Shutwa velima pepen. And then kwazwakala ke nasosontweni ukuthi siye sayo recording ngoma no Zahara. And so sathola ukuthi umfundisi akajabulanga ngalokho. He thinks ukuthi senze mhlambe a wrong decision. Sunday we came to church. Sisaba ke ukuthi uma sithethiswa phela because the week before that kwakuthethiswa abantu esontweni and like oma thethiswa na kanje la anathi sinkingeni. And then Sunday afika I think washa amagama amancane nje wasibiza phambili but the twins have recorded no Zahara. Yabo. Kwavele kwashuba ke.
The twins came out as Omotoso's strongest supporters even after his arrest. Since the arrest of the alleged recruiters, they say his stranglehold over them has been broken.
athi angimmassage inyawo. Ithi mina kodwa Nkosi ngenhliziyo. Like, I don't know how to massage. My hands are small. How am I going to massage umuntu omngaka nenyawo engaka? I can't even massage usisi wami. Athi angimassage inyawo. Mase ethi anyuke. Nyukele emathangeni nase yabona la enyaweni. Athi angimmassage. Ayi mina ngiresist ngicine la emlenzini. Phinde futhi ngibuyele enyaweni because ngiyasaba ngisazi phela manje ukuthi what's happening? Why manje sekuzomela nginyuke phezulu? And then ibuyele lo mqondo lokuthi I suspected ukuthi something like this happens. So ngiyasaba manje kakhulu. Athi ngimmassage. Okay, ngingavumi-ke mina ngimassage la enyaweni ngi-ignore nje leyo question yakhe. Athi angigibele embhedeni. Okay, ngigibele embhedeni ngokusaba ukuthi lo muntu lo he has powers. What if vele into engiyiphuphile uyiyona vele? Okay, ngigibeleke phezu kwami enze into ayenzayo, and then when it's done athandaza. Methandaza acele uNkulunkulu for mercy. Athi God is gonna forgive us. Okay, and I believe that. I was like, okay, cool. He even prays. It's okay.
She says her life has never been the same following her experience. The twins say they were barely out of school when they went into the house. Both sisters say they suffered the same abuse by Omotoso and are relieved to begin rebuilding their lives and careers after the arrest of their alleged captors. We visited this school in New Brighton, not far from a local branch of Jesus Dominion International in Port Elizabeth. Gender activists are worried that young girls like these are easy prey to sex predators.
If at church you are not happy and you can notice ukuthi there's a pastor or there's whoever okwiskundla esiphezulu, when there's funny tricks happening ecaweni yenu, we are here to assist you. Siyavan? You need to expose such things. Even if you share any comments about being fit, kwakho, isketi sakho siyakufanela, those are sexual harassment comments. Siyavan? Those are sexual harassment comments. You need to report that. We talk about values, principles, and I teach them how to respect the teachers because they spend most of the time here at school, that they need to respect teachers. And also they must expose sexual harassment, sexual abuse at school, at church, in their community. And also those who are raped, I normally have talk with them and advise them of what needs to be done first so that they can be able to open a case and report those who raped them. Because rape, it doesn't happen to, it's not someone from far that will rape you. It's people that are close to you. It can be your dad, it can be your uncle, it can be a neighbor. So those are the things that I normally teach them.
Following our expose, Pamela has been key in working with authorities on the Omotoso case and assisting the alleged victims deal with their alleged abuse. She has also been following the court proceedings and believes that the arrest of the 3 alleged recruiters has been a breakthrough.
My concern now is the other one, the one who's overseas. Or when will she be arrested and how long is it going to take? I will be very, very, very happy if they can arrest the one who's overseas. Because now we're getting more and more victims that are coming through giving statements. And I'm happy with the fact that the case is solid. At least we're going somewhere. And I've got a hope that he's not gonna go anywhere, go out anytime soon.
Pamela claims that late last year she was approached by members of Omotoso's church, Jesus Dominion International, who tried to bribe her to influence the alleged victims into giving their testimonies.
So and then he said he wants to talk to me. Okay, fine, I listened to him, and then he was like, no. He was sent by people from Omotoso's church. They asked him to talk to me about the case, so they wanted to give me 2 million so that I can approach the girls to drop the charges and support Omotoso and say those accusations are not true and stuff.
She says she's grateful that the twins have recently spoken out about their alleged experiences in the house, because sex abuse victims often take a long time to face the abuse and speak out against it.
I don't blame them with the fact that at first they didn't come forward, and because I know and I've studied the situation where they were binded into in that house. So now I'm happy with the fact that they are opening and they are talking about, they are revealing what is happening there, what was happening there in that church, and what was happening to them as well. So as much as it is touching, it is hurting, I'm here, and I know I'm willing to walk this journey with them, to assist them with the pain that are going through, with whatever that are going, because I know that those girls I had deep hurt inside. They will never, ever be the same.
Specialist Simon got hold of these exclusive pictures that show the living conditions in Omotoso's house, where he is the only male surrounded by young girls who are barely women. Pamela has stepped up a fight against the alleged abuse of women in churches and has joined forces with other activists in Johannesburg who recently protested against the alleged influx of false prophets in the country. Solomon Ashams, the organizer of this protest action, handed over a memorandum to the CRL Commission 2 weeks ago.
The primary focus of this march is to be here and to raise awareness that there are false prophets in the church and they're committing a lot of atrocities, and we need to talk about it. Secondly, we need to know that there are victims in the church that have been abused, manipulated, deceived by false prophets, but we're not talking about it, and they're there living their lives large. And thirdly, we need to be able to present what I have here is the memorandum to the CRL Rights Commission to say we need to make the church cases a priority. When you get a report of rape or being defrauded by a false prophet from a church, we need to investigate it and we need to make it a priority.
Solomon believes that the CRL Commission needs to take stronger action against the rise of false prophets.
For too long, the rights of women are abused, all in the name of obeying God, which is not true.
After signing the memorandum, the chairperson of the CRL stated that the need to regulate religion in the country is more critical than ever.
I think one thing we should accept as a nation is that it's time for a revolution. Yes. It's time for us to say it stops here and it goes no further. Yes. We've been preaching this gospel since 2015. We kept on saying there's something extremely wrong happening here. Yeah. The response has always been there's freedom of religion. We have said every right in the Constitution has limitations. And we're saying what is in this memorandum today is where limitations start.
Following its inquiry into churches in the country, the CRL recommended ways in which controversial churches could be dealt with in the country.
Most of people in the media are aware that we took our recommendations last June or July to Parliament to say this is the way we think the country must go. Of course, the other people went there and said, no, it's not the way to go. Our recommendations are unconstitutional. So where we are, we're saying we need to determine the constitutionality of our recommendations so that the Constitutional Court has the final say. It can't be me or you or anybody else. There's a court here. that should say this is constitutional and this is not constitutional, and then we can all move on with our lives.
The recent killing of police linked to the Seven Angels Church in Ingcobo in the Eastern Cape led to stakeholders urgently convening this workshop to counter the existence of questionable churches in the country.
It cannot be that somebody can just stand up there tomorrow and say, I am a prophet. I should do that without asking for money.
Yes. Preach.
You know, the ones we regard as prophets don't call themselves as prophets. History records them as prophets.
One of the experts attending the workshop is renowned psychologist Dr. Seth Cooper. He has been studying the phenomenon of cults and believes that legislation is required to deal with human rights abuses within religious organizations.
I think that a crime is a crime. Whoever's name it is committed is irrelevant. That none of us should be above the law. Whether you are a pastor, whether you are a politician, a president, we are all accountable, and we cannot exercise our own will against other people and infringe their rights and do things that clearly are not legal in terms of our law.
He was critical about Parliament's reluctance to set aside the CRL recommendations, which call for a peer review mechanism to deal with legal loopholes.
Well, I'm actually shocked to hear that Parliament rejected the idea of a peer review mechanism. Those parliamentarians who rejected it need their heads read. It's time that we protected our citizens. The law is supreme, and it enables the state to protect us. So if an arm of the state like Parliament has reneged in its duties, we need to question that. Freedom of religion doesn't mean that you can do what you want without let. There's no scriptures anywhere that says you should not be subject to the prevailing laws.
But the Portfolio Committee says they support the recommendations, however there is a need for a code of conduct.
The Portfolio Committee have agreed with many issues that they've raised.
Okay.
That the self-regulation is very important, that it should be implemented as a resolution of the... Once the National Assembly has approved the report of the committee, we'll expect them to start working on it in terms of the CRR. Our view was that, those priests or pastors who are doing wrong, the existing laws in the country are there to deal with the situation.
Activists have been calling for change for many years, and they say the time for change is long overdue. Solomon says that he knows about Omotoso's activities before he formed Jesus Dominion International.
He took over in Pretoria and he kept doing the same thing. Some of the women that came in that had problems that the pastor was sleeping with, Omotoso now started sleeping with them also. Instead of helping them, he was sleeping with them, and there was a lot of money issues. Even sometimes, cases were opened and the police were coming in to check what's going on and all that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of drama, and around 2000, when the church actually had to shut itself down because they were in debt, I think over 1 million rand debt already at that point, he now had to shut down, and that was how he shut down Jesus Arena International and moved to Durban, and also PE actually. He went to PE first, where they started the Jesus Dominion International.
Durban is one of the places where crimes were allegedly committed by Omotoso. It is also where JDI had its largest following. We revisited the twins after they revealed their alleged experiences in Omotoso's Umhlanga house.
All I want from you now, just dust yourself. Pagaman, stand up, dust yourself, and walk tall. Have confidence. Have confidence, tell yourself, let's work together. Let's walk this journey together.
After hearing of the twins' alleged experiences, Pamela arranged counseling for the girls, who said they needed help to come to terms with their ordeal. They also asked her to help them to tell their mother about their alleged sexual abuse. The Omotoso matter caused a rift between the young women and their mother. They have not been on speaking terms since they moved into the house with Omotoso.
Wanikela
Gendodana, hallelujah, siyabonga.
It's been a long road for this family, which is trying to pick up the pieces of their broken lives. The mother alleges that the recruiters baited her daughters with the promise of nurturing their musical talent.
Bafika kumi bathi kukhona intombazana ecawa enkonzweni kaOmotoso bathi ithe izohamba nabo bafune umfundisi ukuthi bamafike ecaweni labo uzobafundisa music kwaba kuphuma kwabo ke ezandleni zami ngoba nami ngangidinga usizo ukuthi baphumelele emculweni nabo baphuma ke.
She says once the girls were in the house, she noticed that her contact with them was minimized by the recruiters.
Besiloko sifonelana ke ngoku ke sesikhontenana ngamafoni abasabuyi bona kanti kwenzakala na hayi mawuthe kuthiwe singabuyi zaziqhubeka insuku aqhubeka amasonto zaqhubeka inyanga ababuyi ngase ngahamba ngayobabheka esontweni lapho ukuthi kanti sonto linile lokuthiwa abantu abangabuyi ngoba kuphela kuthiwa bawufunda umculo omnilwa kanti akusabuya na emculweni.
Nomvulo managed to get her daughters back home, but Omotoso allegedly sent church members to convince her to allow her daughters to return to his house. She attended a church service at JDI, where she says she was intimidated into releasing her daughters to Omotoso.
Bayakhala bona ke bathi bakhalelana uthi there's something ezonivela if ungavumi nabo nawe izobavelela futhi nabo. Athi umfundisi Omotoso athi this woman she doesn't want to give me her children. Anzange nibe nayo option ke kathi ngiyabanika bathatha.
During our investigation in Port Elizabeth, Special Assignment was told that Omotoso was receiving preferential treatment in St. Albans Prison, where he has been held for almost a year. We spoke to various sources who confirmed this allegation. This man is a former inmate who was held at the same prison.
The waiting trial, Transisia Accord. Ndibone masinani amapolisa etomba hey ngumuntu otheni ndibuze hey ngubani lo kuthiwa hayi uOmotoso the way bamququzela ngayo hayi une TV iseseleni une plasma une cell phone into benowazingena etrongweni but kodwa zikhona singenise njani.
He says the preferential treatment became a source of contention amongst the other inmates.
Because abanye abantu bayaqabana ahe umuntu othenda lo ufumana yena i-pressure treatment thina sasifumana so uqatyana lokhu hayi mama akazohlala pha kuthi angayihlala pha avalelwe yedwa.
This is the response of the Department of Correctional Services to the allegations. The Department of Correctional Services has denied these allegations. Meanwhile, the victims and their families hold on to the hope that justice will be done.
I want him to pay for everything he did to me and also to all thousands of people like in South Africa, even kwamanye amazwe. I want him to pay, and he's going to pay.
Noma ngagwetshwa ngiphi indlela kodwa angaphuma ejele. Agwetshe kakhulu. Avune lokho akulimile. Akuvune kakhulu Omotoso akudle. For the rest of his life as enzile ebantwaneni bethu.